All right, well, welcome to another special edition of the SJHL Insider podcast. I'm your host, as always, Jamie Neugebauer, and instead of introducing him, I'm just gonna do one of the iconic calls and do my best, and hopefully the guy doesn't get offended. But it's Mason Bueckert! Yeah, I can't do malls. I tried to do malls, but it's Mason Bueckert of the Ronge Ice Wolves. Mason, how you doing? And can you do a better malls than that, please?
No, I don't think I can. That was pretty good.
Mason. Anyways, yeah, so we love to chop it up and I hope I would be honored if somebody around there imitated my broadcasting ability, but we love to, try to do the different broadcasters around the league at league office all the time, to be honest. And there's some obviously real iconic ones. So it's a lot of fun and obviously no longer yours, unfortunately. Braden Nosbury's moved on. But I guess I'll start there. Just talk about the impact that Braden kind of had on the Ice Wolves over his time there.
Yeah, he did make a big difference. He was at the rink with us every day and kind of just like a buddy to kind of the guys on the team a little bit too. So it's tough to see him go, but yeah, hopefully he's moving on to something a little better.
Yeah, for sure. Might move back to Alberta, and somebody else will have to call the games at the Mel, and whatnot. But we'll talk about you then, Mason. That's what we're here to do. It always blows me away how fast a junior career seems to go, and it just seems like yesterday that you were kind of making your Ice Wolves debut at that showcase in Warman as a call up after the great year you were having in AAA that year, or during it, I guess a bunch of years ago, and now you're heading into your 20-year-old year. Has it felt like a long time, your junior career, or has it felt as fast as it seemed to me?
Yeah, it's gone by too fast, honestly. It's my last year of junior hockey coming up, so just got to try and enjoy it as much as I can and kind of make the most of it this year.
Yeah, no, for sure. And no, I know, talking to you and obviously Killer and Schneids and everybody kind of up in Larange, like a lot of people definitely inside your room, it seemed like, and inside your organization felt like you guys had a better roster maybe than it kind of turned out, like how the cookie crumbled. And sure, there's all sorts of reasons for that. But is that kind of the sense that you guys have sort of a bit of a redemption kind of feel heading into this new season coming up?
Yeah, I think all the guys kind of agree with that last year. We're hoping it's kind of just that was just a one-off thing. So yeah, everybody's really excited to go, and we're gonna have a lot of new guys on the team this year, so it should be exciting.
Yeah, obviously, guys come and go, and that's how it goes. Obviously, I think of a guy like Topher Chirico and Parker Layton, who is such, of course, such a big piece as a veteran and a local guy, and that's just what happens with 20-year-olds. They move on and goes down the list. You guys had some really incredible leaders and some real incredible 20-year-olds that I got to know a little bit too. So there's that. But you do have your good buddy who seems like you've been together forever there in Jacob Cassette, who's such a local guy, and it seems like you guys dominated AAA together and had a very, mirrored kind of career. I guess just talk about the chemistry that you feel like you and him could work together this year.
Yeah, well, we didn't really play too much together last year, but for basically our whole 18 year we were together. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that's kind of who I started with, and I think that'd be a good thing. Obviously, he's a bigger guy, but he still has a lot of skill and a lot of
Mhm.
offensive talent. So yeah, that's an exciting thing to kind of look forward to see if we're going to be playing together
Mhm.
or kind of how that works out.
Yeah, absolutely. And, again, it's always interesting, obviously you had such a good 19-year-old year and you put up a ton of points and your team kind of needed you too. But I guess how do you feel like your game has kind of developed under Killer? Because you were tremendous in AAA and things seem to not come easy because it doesn't come easy for anybody. There's a lot of hard work, but how do you feel like you've kind of grown as an Ice Wolf?
Yeah, well, in my 18 year in general, even in Alberta, I think it kind of just takes some time to get used to junior hockey. So, yeah, thanks to Killer, he gave me all the opportunity that I needed, and especially last year, playing a lot of minutes and kind of just getting used to the league. So, now going into this 20 year, it's I know what's coming, know what to expect, and yeah, hoping for a big year.
For sure, yeah. And obviously, again, he really big year last year, 20 goals, 42 assists. Do you consider yourself more of a shooter? I know kind of, a lot of your a lot of your assists came kind of when you were the shooter, I think, and then it went off somebody or a rebound or a bang in or a tip or something. But do you see yourself as more of a shooter or a playmaker?
Uh, I don't know. I'd like to say a shooter, but maybe a playmaker.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. Last year I did have a lot more assists and goals, so and that's kind of the only year it's been like that. But
Hmm.
yeah, going into this year, I've been skating a lot and working out, so just planning on kind of shooting the puck a little bit more this year, probably.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, you had the 30 goal year in Bantam. I don't know if we're allowed to call it Bantam anymore, but you had a 30 goal year in Bantam. You had a 30 goal year in AAA. U18, I mean, I should say. So, maybe something like that. Do you have any kind of goals for yourself and for the team coming into this year, or are you just gonna try to just do your best and see what happens?
Yeah, I mean, kind of just trying to do my best. And, I know everybody in Ronge and everybody on the team is kind of expecting us to be a playoff team this year. So just kind of do anything I can to help the team win some more games this year. And yeah, I mean, obviously it's a big year for me. It's my 20 years. So just gonna try and enjoy this one. And then, if the school things happen after that, then that's the route that it's gonna go.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I love calling games at the Mel. And I think a guy like you, it seems like it suits you like so well. Just like such a bullet of a shot, such good offensive instincts, and then you just don't have that much space where you have to, work to kind of get to your spot. Like you are there and you're always dangerous because it's not that much space. Have you found that you've kind of continued to fall in love with playing at the Mel? Because it seems like it fits you really well.
Yeah, even since I was a kid, kind of always played my better games on the smaller ice. So yeah, just playing in the Mel kind of suits my game perfectly. And even like the fans and just the energy in the rink in the Mel is it's really good, especially in playoffs there 2 years ago was probably the coolest like rink moment I've had in my career, I guess I'd say. So yeah,
Mm.
definitely fits my game.
Yeah, obviously when it's a fortress in there and people who've been paying attention for a long time when LeBron went really deep and won championships. It was not a fun place to go. So you guys had made that a thing a couple of years ago, and I'm sure you're going to get back to it. Here real soon. Obviously, there's seems like from the outside to a degree because I know him a little bit, but Kevin Kaminski seems like a larger than life personality in some ways, just an intense dude. What's it like playing for him? Just in terms of as a coach, but as a person, is he different, in the rink than when he's out the rink, or is he all the same, or how do you what do you tell people?
Yeah, I don't know. Killer's been really good to me, and I really like having him as my coach. Obviously, he drafted me when I was 14 or 15 there, so I've known him for a while. And yeah, I mean, you just look at the career he's had, obviously, in his as a player and as a coach too. So I think yeah, all the guys on the team just have full trust in him, and he might, I don't know, some guys would probably look at him as a little intimidating, but
Mhm.
once you get to know him, he's not too bad.
Yeah, I mean, I think, and he would say, and if you can go, not you, Mason, but other people can go to the SJHL.ca website, and I wrote an article about him this summer. In his own words, he said, "Killer is just a nickname. Like in real life, I just love people. Like he's a really warm human being, and I've definitely experienced that myself. And so the nickname, I'm sure it fits if I was in a fisticuff situation with him, but." Any other situation. He seems like a great guy, so not a concern there. I gotta ask you too, and I'm gonna be careful, I guess, to some degree, Mason, how I word this, because in this day and age, a lot of kids, and I don't begrudge or feel any sense of that kids are doing anything wrong by exploring a BCHL or the USHL or the NAL or whatever it is they feel and their advisors and their families feel is the best situation for them after developing in the SJ for however long. It seemed like you and your family made it pretty clear pretty quickly that you were pretty committed to the Larange project, for this year and playing in our league and continuing to bring obviously your really good talent there. So what is it about the SJ? What is it about Larange, Mason, that you kind of felt that, I don't know, loyalty is the right word, but that desire to continue to be part of the solution in Larange?
Yeah, well, I know you even just look at some of the top guys from last year. There's a lot who are going to BC and even to the Null there, but I'm from Saskatoon. I've played in Saskatchewan all my life. I just don't really see a reason to leave Larange. I like living there. I know all the boys on the team. It's kind of just a good fit, and yeah,
Mhm.
I'm just planning on going back to Larange. There's no point in me leaving this year.
Yeah, for sure. Do you feel like to some degree, and again, I'm not calling anybody names or disloyal or whatever, like that's not what I mean at all. But do you feel like your family has kind of raised you to kind of have that sense of yeah, of loyalty, of sort of finishing what you started? I know your dad just a little bit maybe, but just do you feel that's something that your family kind of raised you in?
Yeah, definitely. Like I started in Alberta there, and Killer kind of figured it out to get me back to Larange. So, I mean, he's been good to me since the day he drafted me. So, I
Hmm.
mean, I kind of got to show loyalty to him and to the team. I've got nothing but good things to say about Larange. So,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Beautiful lakes and stuff, I'm sure. I know, I did a longer piece on Jacob Cassette, during the season last year. I don't know if you were able to see that, but he just talks about, taking guys into the nature, into the lakes and the ice fishing and just sort of enjoying the outdoors. That seems like the best kind of, other than hockey, seems like the second best thing to do in Laurent is to just be outside, I guess. But is that something that you've kind of delved into too during your time?
Probably not as much as I should, but
Yeah,
I've gone ice fishing a couple times. It's good. Was never super outdoorsy growing
for
up,
sure.
but no, I've been out a couple times. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I know people again, I'm not outdoorsy either. I'm an indoorsy Toronto boy. So there you go. I'm right along there with you. But people tell me that Larange has like world class, fishing and outdoor kind of tourism, that kind of a thing. So that must be pretty cool to experience on a regular basis if you get the opportunity. And Mason, get out and make yourself uncomfortable. Get out of your comfort zone this year. There's some advice for you there from old Nugsy. Just two more questions then, Mason. I kind of hinted at it last year that to some degree, like I'm sure you would have to admit that last year was a level of disappointment. For the Ice Wolves. Again, given the talent that you guys had and the decor that you guys had and the belief that you guys had in Topher and the net, etc. Just what needs to happen this year, to set the tone from the beginning to make it a different year.
Yeah, probably just a stronger start. I mean, even last year, basically from the start of the season, it just wasn't going great, even in September. So, I mean, we got camp in Aberdeen first, and then we're going up to Larange. So, I
Hmm.
think it kind of just gives us a little bit more time to get on the ice and kind of get used to each other because we do have a lot of new defensemen, especially coming up, a lot of new guys. So, it's probably going to take a little bit of time, but I mean, I think our main focus has just got to be on winning games. Everything else kind of pushed back to the side, and we should get off to a better start.
Yeah, for sure. And again, you have, you and you and Jacob and Silzer, that's obviously a great core to kind of start with. And I know I'm missing people. It's not on purpose, but you have some of the premium guys in the league to start with. So that's obviously a great place to be. Uh, Last question then, Mason. What have you been doing this summer? I know you and I were chopping it up a little bit about some of your buddies were playing in the National Ball Hockey Tournament, but what have you been up to? Have you taken in some indoorsman activities?
I've just been super busy since I got home. It
Mhm.
was been a bit of a longer off season, so I'm kind of ready to get going. But yeah, been working out, skating, golfing quite a bit. So
Mhm.
yeah, I'm kind
What
of
have
ready to get going.
what have you been doing for work?
Uh, right when I got home, I was an EA at a school actually.
Mm.
My mom works at the Catholic school board, so
Mm.
she kind of got that. I kind of got ties there. I started that 2 years ago, and then this summer I'm actually a caretaker. So I'm just doing that. It's only 5 hours a day, so it's not too bad. I still got time to skate and work out after. So
That's
yeah,
awesome. Like with you grab some mops and just
yeah,
keep your
yeah.
clay.
At the
Mop,
high school
mop.
by my house. Yeah.
That's terrific. Hey, I love to hear that. There you go. No surprise that Mason, high quality character, individual, and type of human being that Kevin Kaminsky would look for sure. So, congratulations on the career you've had so far, Mason, and all the best and good luck to you and the Ice Wolves as the season's just around the corner.
Will do. Thanks for having me.